Apparently, it seems Rolling Stone has an issue with his last diss record. They said that it was completely a big mistake, saying Drake mostly made himself look bad with his latest diss song.
Did ex-best friends Drake and Kendrick Lamar get into a fight? The feud between Drake and Kendrick Lamar is heating up. Well, despite the silence on new music, their previous tracks are speaking volumes. Drake, hailing from Toronto, isn't just any rapper. With 5 Grammys and 29 Billboard Awards, he's the most streamed male artist on Spotify ever. On the other side, we have Kendrick Lamar from Compton, a lyrical genius with 17 Grammys out of 50 nominations, and the only musician outside of classical and jazz to snag a Pulitzer Prize. What sparked the latest flare-up? Well, everything kicked off with J. Cole's track First Person Shooter, where he expressed himself. Drake and Kendrick Lamar as the big three of rap. Kendrick, who seemed to have been unhappy about sharing attention, joined forces with Metro Booming and Future to show that he's the boss in their single, It's Just Big Me. Not one to take things lying down, Drake fired back with push-ups on April 13th. Big jabs at everything from Kendrick's height to his shoe size, but Drake wasn't done yet. In his tailor-made freestyle, he teased Kendrick for avoiding a music release clash with Taylor Swift and even used AI technology to mimic voices of rap legends, Tupac Shakur and Snoop Dogg, urging Kendrick to stay true to his West Coast roots. This move, however, backfired spectacularly when Shakur's estate caught wind of it and threatened the legal action, resulting in the song's immediate removal from all platforms. Kendrick, fueled by Drake's provocations, dropped Euphoria by the end of April. In this track, he labels Drake a master manipulator and habitual liar, critiquing his rap skills, appearance, and even questioning his integrity as a father. Why all the anger? Well, Kendrick was really mad when Drake talked about his partner Whitney in push-ups. Kendrick kept the momentum with 616 in LA, an Instagram-only release where he branded Drake a terrible person and hinted at having an insider in Drake's camp. The same night, Drake clapped back with Family Matters, charging serious accusations against Kendrick, including domestic violence and infidelity. He suggested that Kendrick's crisis management team was scrambling to clean up his image. Responding with fury, Kendrick released Meet the Grahams, where he compared Drake to Harvey Weinstein, accusing him of being a sexual predator and exploiting black artists and culture. He followed this with Not Like Us, doubling down on his claims of Drake's inappropriate relationships with minors. The cover art, a chilling screenshot of Drake's home from Google Maps. And just when it seemed things couldn't get any more intense, Drake dropped The Heart Part 6 on May 5th. Here he denied any wrongdoing with minors and revealed a shocking twist. Drake admitted that he made up a story about having a secret daughter to trick Kendrick into saying things that aren't true. We plotted for a week and then we fed you the information, Drake reveals in the track. Amidst this heated lyrical warfare, Drake manages to throw a backhanded compliment Kendrick's way, admitting that despite everything, he could find himself dancing to Kendrick's latest tracks. Complex emotions indeed. Interestingly, despite the tension, the music seems to be thriving. Kendrick's Euphoria debuted at number 11 on the Billboard Hot 100, with another track, Futures, featuring Lamar, climbed to number 8. Drake's Push-Ups wasn't far behind, landing at number 17. Kendrick even set a new Spotify record with Not Like Us, becoming the most streamed American hip-hop song in a single day with 6.59 million streams. Joseph Patterson, the editor of Complex UK and Trench magazine, finds the lyricism fascinating. Artists taking lyrical shots at each other is keeping fans on their toes, he observes. Indeed, dissecting these lyrics offers a glimpse into a side of these artists you don't usually see in regular tracks, but Patterson warns, once mentions of children entered the mix, he feared this feud might just be a forever thing. But not everyone's a fan of how personal things have gotten. Critics like Teo Barrow from The Guardian argued that these rappers are using serious issues like child sex abuse and domestic violence to score points against each other, potentially devaluing women's and children's pain for lyrical warfare. Easty Blue, an R&B jazz artist, echoes the concerns, disturbed by how the allegations particularly exploit the suffering of black women and children, turning it into entertainment fodder. She calls for stronger protective measures within the industry to safeguard those who might become collateral damage in these high-profile clashes. Back in 2011, when Kendrick Lamar's career was just taking off, he and Drake struck up a friendship. Drake, clearly seeing something special in Kendrick, even invited him to be a part of his Club Paradise tour. Kendrick in those early days described Drake as a genuine soul and shared how Drake was the first outside of his circle to hear his debut album Section 80. The friendship seemed solid, with Drake featuring Kendrick on his Take Care album and returning the favor on Kendrick's groundbreaking Good Kid, Mad City. But as Kendrick's star rose, things began to shift. While Kendrick shied away from flaunting his success on social media, Drake was the opposite, often sharing snapshots of a life filled with luxury. In various interviews, Kendrick hinted that he found both the flaunting a bit superficial, just preferring to focus his music on deeper societal issues. The tension really started to heat up back in 2013. Kendrick dropped a verse on Big Sean's track Control, where he declared himself the king of New York, and challenged his peers, including Drake. He wasn't quite so pleased. In an interview on Hot 97, Drake expressed his disbelief, questioning the realness behind Kendrick's words. He pointed out how strange it felt to hear such harsh words, only to have Kendrick act normal in person. It seemed to Drake that something didn't add up. Drake's response wasn't just verbal, he took it to the studio. Back in his 2013 album, Nothing Was the Same, Drake seemed to take a jab at Kendrick in the track The Language. He addressed the wealth-flaunting controversy, subtly mocking Kendrick's stance by rapping. The beef escalated when Kendrick seemed to mock Drake during a freestyle with Schoolboy Q and others, referencing Drake's album title in a line that hit too close to home. Drake didn't hold back in his counterattacks. On Future's track, he underscored his influence by pointing out that he brought his tour to Kendrick City, implying that he made it possible for Kendrick to perform there. Back in 2014, the tension between Kendrick Lamar and Drake was simmering just below the surface, even as they continued to exchange subtle jabs in their music. That year, a bit of drama unfolded at the Grammy Awards, adding fuel to the fire, when Macklemore, not Kendrick, snagged the Album of the Year for his album over Kendrick's critically acclaimed Good Kid, Mad City, considered a hip-hop masterpiece. Macklemore, feeling the weight of the win, texted Kendrick admitting he thought Kendrick was robbed. He shared this apology publicly, which didn't sit well with everyone, including Drake. In an interview with Rolling Stone, Drake didn't mince words about Macklemore's public apology, calling it cheap and pointing out that if apologies were being handed out, they should have been extended to all nominees. "That made me feel funny," Drake expressed. Meanwhile, Kendrick, downplaying the public spats and fan theories, suggested in a radio interview that year that people might be digging too far into the perceived beef. On What's the Dirt, the host Matt discussed how Kendrick's album, To Pimp a Butterfly, and Drake's If You're Reading This It's Too Late, both released in 2015, could be more different. That summer, the plot thickened when the rapper Meek Mill accused Drake of using a ghostwriter, which sparked a flurry of diss tracks and barbed exchanges. Drake addressed these allegations in September, defending his collaborative approach to music, and in an interview with The Fader. However, this explanation didn't stop fans from recalling Kendrick's lyrics from King Kunta on To Pimp a Butterfly, where he criticized the integrity of artists using ghostwriters, which directly hit at Drake, stirring more whispers and side-eyes in the industry. In 2016, Drake released his fourth studio album, Views. This album was a game changer, introducing a Jamaican dancehall vibe with tracks like One Dance, Hotline Bling, and Controlla. These hits skyrocketed Drake to the top, making him the year's most streamed artist and handing him his first UK #1 album. Despite the success, Drake couldn't help but throw a few punches lyrically in his collaboration with The Game on track 100. He touched on the ongoing debate about his pop status. Fast forward to 2023, and the dynamic still simmers. Despite Drake's apparent gestures towards reconciliation, Kendrick keeps his cards close to his chest, only really speaking out through his lyrics. After a lengthy break, Kendrick finally released Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers in 2022. Not one to stay quiet, during a show on his It's All a Blur tour, Drake commented on artists who take long breaks, saying, "I don't know about these guys that go away for 3, 4, 5 years and want to chill out and all that. It's not me." This ongoing comparison between the two has even captured the interest of figures as prominent as former President Barack Obama, who was once asked to weigh in on his favorite artist between the two. As the years roll on, the rivalry remains as intriguing as ever. What do you think the future holds for these two artists? Do drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more insightful updates.